So if you've played this game before, you may know that if you go into this corner up here and jump off into the ocean, you can flip out of bounds. If you didn't know that, well, look at it. But the main thing with that is that you can walk out of bounds and basically just see Alan Grant's arm sticking off. But there's not really much you can do about this. And you can kind of get to a certain point. Like you can see the coast going on the side, but you can't get any higher than that. If you scroll to the right, you'll notice that your character is technically moving to the right because his arm's not there, and if you hold left, it'll take a few seconds before the arm shows up again. There it is. Okay. But yeah, so I wanted to figure out if there's anything over here with the overall goal of finding a door that I could use speedrunning glitch. Be nice. So, just a heads up, I haven't found anything, so don't get your hopes up. But it was still kind of cool anyway. The first thing that I did here was find all the values with RAM watt. So if I just load up my previous... So now you can see on the side of the screen there's just a bunch of variables for anything I found in the game. Hopefully it comes through in the YouTube video. The blue ones mean that they're frozen, which basically means that I currently have infinite ammo, infinite health, and all 3 gates are open. Because this is just for testing and looking for glitches. But the ones you're going to want to look for near the bottom here, kind of scrolling with Alan X and Alan Y. So you can kind of see that the Y value decreases as I go up until I hit a point, and then the X value will be left and right, and then you can see I can actually move around. And you can see like back there a little bit, I hit a wall, I hit a corner. See if I can reproduce it. If I go up here and I scroll all the way over, we have 4,315. And if I scroll down a little bit and then go over, I can go over a bit more. So that goes to show that there are obstacles here. And that's the important part. So that means we're actually running into some kind of terrain, some kind of boundary. So it's actually worth exploring. The only problem is trying to explore with just knowing what your XY positions are, like trying to just do that by hand is a huge pain. Also, Mr. DNA keeps popping up. Got a code to make it never show up again. So what I did instead was I wrote a tool to assist me. Okay, so I went ahead and brought back my save point to your save state from just before the door, and opening up a Lua script that I've written. But essentially, so what happens is I just jumped over here. So I'm over here on the left, you can see my arm. And the way I have it written is so it creates a map based off your coordinates as you walk. So as you walk around, it'll mark areas you've been to as right. You can kind of see I'm moving around, and I can actually see myself moving around. If I press the right shoulder button right now, I can place a black tile, which basically just tells me wall. So I'm doing that just to kind of mark that this area is a wall, and I can know where I've been. And then if you hit it again, it'll go. Or what other button? Yeah, if you press X, you'll place a green tile, which means a hazard tile. So basically, there's actually hazards out here. I can show you again. The basic thing right here. So this is just showing you how the tool works. So I wanted to actually load the one where I've already mapped out everything, just a little bit easier to. Okay, so here we go. Now here you can see the completed map from where we were just sitting. Well, for as much as complete as I ended up doing. So these white ones over here are mostly because I jumped off into the ocean to map it and then die. So there's not really a good way to look at that area, but it's also not where we're interested anyway. But if you look at everything, you can kind of just see that we do have an actual terrain over here. So it's kind of cool that you can just kind of walk around and now you can explore this whole area as if you're actually able to see it. So yeah, as you notice in this one, green actually means electric trap. So there are actually electric traps out here, which is kind of interesting. You can see that weird white pattern there. This one's kind of a fun one. If you jump onto it at just the right angle, your character just gets forced. So you're basically... Okay, so when you have an electric trap, you're not allowed to actually stand on it. And so what it's trying to do is it's trying to knock you out of it, but it's hitting a wall and it's bouncing you back into it. So you're basically just infinitely bouncing on the electric trap and there's nothing you can do. If I didn't have infinite health, I'd be dead right here. But I basically can't do anything. Reload my save. But yeah, you could lower the size of the squares to get slightly more fine-grained detail, but I didn't want it to be too obnoxious because you have to actually walk over everything and then like manually assign all the black tiles for walls. But yeah, so you kind of have this cool little thing. I can post this on GitHub if people want to play around with it themselves. I probably should clean. I had to do a little bit of debugging just to try and load it. Right. It's basically not user. But the main thing to take away from this is that if you look at the actual map, like, so I have it also displaying a notepad file. Oh yeah, so back in the game, if I press the left button, it exports it to a text file. And so now I can look at that text file here. So we can get... Now you can basically see a representation of everything we've mapped out. We've entered from somewhere near the bottom over here. But, so this doesn't really look like... Okay, no, that doesn't. If you were to take this overlay and put it next to a map of Jurassic Park, okay, well here's one on Pinterest for some. I'll take it. See if we can zoom in a little bit. Let's see, okay, so here we go. So this is close to lined up, but as you can see that essentially the area we're allowed to walk in is the trees of this other area. So like this little bump right over here corresponds to the bump over here. Then you have this big passageway you can walk up here, which corresponds to this here. There's technically vines here, but there's enough that the trees are overhanging. So if the trees are overhanging enough, you can technically walk over it. Pretty cool. So you can actually realize that we pretty much just jumped on top of the trees across the level. The problem is we're now stuck in the trees, and there's no way to get out of the tree. The weird thing too about the screen wrapping glitch is about at the bottom here, like kind of where this egg is, but not quite. You can't get past that anymore, so you can't get any further south. So unfortunately, you can't really make much progress in that regard. But one nice thing that I was messing with is if you were able to do... Let's pause, let's get rid of that. Get rid of the map. And then let's just say... back... Let's say I'm back here again. I go up into the corner. Jump. And now if you look at my X position, we see we have 4,120. If we take 4,124 minus the screen width is 4,096. So that basically leaves us at an offset of 28. Now if we take 28 into our RAM watch, take our X position, and let's just poke that to be 28 now. Now you'll notice Alan Grant standing on the ocean. So this is because the game isn't loading properly, so you have to kind of walk down, walk back up a little bit to make it load properly. But as you can see, our theory is proven that we are actually in the trees. So now enemies are actually reacting properly, and you can see the electric trap situation with me running to that. So you can bump into it just fine, but you can't actually get back onto the grass, which is the problem. So if you jump on it, you can see that yes, you are just being bounced repeatedly into the corner of it. So if you do it this way, which is kind of neat, you can actually go all the way around. So I may speed this up a little bit. Turbo button on the emulator. You see, this is the point about the point where we couldn't cross beforehand. Now we can actually go all the way around to the bottom. And so now we're basically here again. You can kind of get back to the other side if you cross over here. If you notice, my X value gets to 65,000, which is the max value that can be. I'm gonna save state here because it's actually possible to die. I might as well just shit. So basically, the nice thing is you can get around the fences this way, which would be really cool if you could use this as a skip. The enemies can't get you up here, which is nice. There is something cool to show you at the end of this video, so I'm at least walking over to that point. Also, you get the really cool, intense sped up music. Basically, we walk past here, past where the helipad is, over here, Triceratops, don't care, back where the hidden egg is and the hidden life. That's where I need. Might take me a quick second to find it somewhere. So, somewhere around here. Right there. So you notice I fell into ocean and died. That's the interesting part. So let me just find that again. Okay, so about 32. So right here, because there's ocean there, I'll fall if I walk into it. So I want to jump. Did I make it? Yeah, okay, so I want to jump over the ocean. So now I've gone from the far south end of the map to the top end of the map. Now what we're going to do is the same thing again, because we have 4121 minus 4096, 5 this time. And so now we want to do this for the y value. So we move this. This becomes 25. Oop, there we go. Now, you can kind of see like a little glitch here, which is kind of interesting, is you have a bunch of like debug textures at the top. I'm not really sure what the index is for getting that properly. Basically, you can kind of see them laying out their tile set for testing. But okay, so as you can see, we're by the raptor nest now. So that's actually the easiest way to get up here. I think you're not allowed to get over the trench if you were to go north from where we first got into the trees. So this is the only way to actually get up to here. Now the interesting part about this is if you go all the way around, there's one specific spot. Okay, so this looks a little bit silly. I'm not actually on the grass here. Just these two trees are overhanging enough that the collision box for the trees allows me to do this. So I'm still not on the ground. The biggest problem right now is we can't get into any doors or anything because we're not on them. I forgot to show you, I could have gone over to the raptor nest door up here and tried it repeatedly just to show you I couldn't get in, but trust me on that one. Bunch of raptors there, they can't get me. Okay, well you can see here at least, one example is you can't get in this door anyway, because we're not on the ground. So we can't actually hit the trigger for this. So that's not gonna... Oh, this is definitely it. Okay, so I'm gonna save state here. This is the only spot I figured out where this works. You can see the raptors are killing us. If we walk right over here, and down just enough, you see we're still not being hit. So we're still in the trees. But if you walk down at a certain spot, you'll know it's working when your character slows down. Okay, and see now we are back on the ground again. I would be taking damage if I had my health off, but I am basically back down here again, and I can actually get raptor nest. So that's the big thing. That specific spot has an interesting collision glitch, where doing that allows you to cut in between the two collision areas. Now, if there was any way to usefully do that, like, if you could get back up there, that would be very useful. I've tried going up and down like here from my end. The main thing here, I don't know if I'll be able to display it because it's super precise getting it to work, is you kind of just go really slowly and you can't move left or right. You can't move left or right and you have to go all the way back down again. But I haven't been able to make it do anything interesting, other than basically just your character gets stuck there for a second. So if there's any way you could do that to get in the trees and cut collision detection somehow, that would be super useful. But I don't know if there's another place you can actually exit them. But that's at least the main useful part. One other thing I wanted to show while I was here. Okay, so the last thing, completely almost pointless, and there's really no point, but I just thought it was funny. So you have a bunch of these bugs over here, and where you have the life at the very bottom right, so just below where you get the last egg. If you go to the bottom of the screen, so we're at the max bounds, and just off screen a little bit down here, you'll notice we're getting a prompt right here. And there's actually one of the light beacons over here. So there's actually a checkpoint in the middle of nowhere, just off the map boundaries. So it's just to kind of prove this a little bit. Let me just get out of the way, and I'm just going to kill myself, which is kind of tricky without cheating, so I'm probably just actually haha, I can still be hit by those for some reason. But you can see I teleport right back down here. So there is actually a checkpoint hidden in the middle of nowhere off the map bounds. I'm assuming this was one left for testing that they forgot to get rid of, but essentially it's there. I don't think there's really much use for it. And for one last thing that I was having too much fun with, I created a randomizer script which literally just randomizes input. So basically it'll hit every direction, every button, except pause. And the goal was to basically try and see if I could break through a door with random inputs. I could not actually get anything to work, but it was just kind of a fun script to watch what happens. I definitely gave it infinite ammo and infinite health. I just want to see if I can kill this critter over here. I'm getting close. Thinking about it. Go. Go to the left. Yeah, there we go. Okay, almost a direct perfect rock. So basically just like fuzz testing a door, trying to get. I might try and write something smarter later, but I think the collision detection is mostly solid. I don't think I'm gonna be able to pace through a wall. But I don't know. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want me to post that script. Probably try and see if I can find any random glitches like fun. And yeah, thank you for watching. On a completely side note, it looks like I found another one of those pillar things up here at the top. This one's just above the north utility shed at the moment. Over there as well. Not over there. One there. Is it just this whole area? So, okay, so it looks like our current value is just at the very bottom of Y. So when it rolls over once you get to here, it looks like if you have your Y value just over a certain point and you clip out in the Y direction, you get like a checkpoint regardless. So it might just be that there's checkpoints out there when your Y values are equal to them. Also, on Y setting, your jump speed is hilariously fun. You can outrun the T-Rex. Woo! Woo! Okay, anyway. So, I wanted to show you guys the raptor nest exploit a little bit as just kind of a side thought as I was thinking about it. This is kind of a post after I was editing the video. I do want to apologize for the mic issue. It seems like my sound gate was set too low, so it kept cutting my audio like crazy. But essentially, let's see. Let me get rid of a bunch of the extra stuff on the RAM watch to make it easier. Okay. So you can see right here, I left just the ones that we actually care about right now. The requirements for clearing the raptor nest are that you have the ship communications on. This is actually the only thing that the ship communications matters for, strangely enough. So you can actually do it like after the ship up until this point. So just gotta make my way down there. And I'm like not on my speedrunning game right now. It'd be so much faster. Gotta go this way, go this way. No, I missed that guy, didn't I? Aw, I have infinite health. Oh, I'm so... Okay. So, this is the point where it matters. You can, you see that raptor over there lurking on the corner. He's important. But what you're gonna want to be looking at is there's this one that says, needed for mainland. What this means is this is the variable that gets set that says, okay, the player is now allowed to call the mainland helicopter. So the requirements are, it will check to see that ship communications has happened, ship has cleared, and that nerve gas has been acquired. So from these memory locations, all that matters is that they're non-zero values. So you see that nerve gas will become 2 when deployed, but that really doesn't matter. That tells the game don't deploy it a second time. But this line right here is what's important. Kind of that corner on the left right here, and then like this little lamppost. Once I cross that threshold, you'll see it becomes FF. That FF means I can leave now. I've completely finished this area. I don't need to deploy anything. So what the important thing about this raptor is you let him murder you, you teleport out, and you're done. So, yeah, blow him up, he's good. There's, I figure you don't trust me on this one, there's not really much reason for me to run all the way to the ship to the bottom part just to flip it. Especially because I haven't actually cleared the ship, I just said a bit in memory to say I did. But yeah, I did this on this is on emulator, but on my run I did it on console, proved it works. So this at least saves, I don't know, like 10 seconds or something. It's really not much. I mean, the only difference is you don't kill that raptor and you don't run all the way over here to the eggs. So you'll notice we still get this deploy message, nerve gas deployed, and nerve gas got updated from 1 to 2. So that will still happen, but there's no reason to do that. It's not necessary to beat the game. So I don't know why it triggers so soon. It's kind of interesting, just like that, this little line right here. So it's kind of just like right when you get line of sight. It's persistent. I think I went home. But yeah, it's basically just line of sight between you and the eggs. So the way to know it is once you get here and you can see that med pack that I picked up on the left, then you know you're good enough and you let this raptor kill you. But yeah, just wanted to add that on so people could have some explanation. Thanks for watching.